Good evening. Thank you for coming tonight. My name is Brandy Welty, and let me spend just a few minutes telling my story. I grew up with a family of addiction. My mom was an alcoholic. My brother died of a drug overdose. I adopted my kids from the foster care system, who too were drug babies. I had to manage that. I had to deal with that. I lost my childhood in a lot of that.
I'm Chris Anderson, Supervisor of Elections representing Seminole County, and I wanted to share a part of my story with you. My father raised me by himself, and he had demons. Those demons were drug and alcohol abuse. One morning, I remember waking up to an empty house, all alone. The night before, my father had been arrested for buying drugs. I ran next door to a neighbor, and she sat with me until family members could retrieve me. Later, my father contracted the AIDS virus and died an extremely painful death. And I had to watch that at a very young age.
My name is Nicole Dupre, and I'm a community advocate because the opioid crisis hits home for me. For years, my husband was addicted to Oxycontin. He was prescribed Oxycontin when he was hurt on the job. And over the course of several years, his addiction spiraled into heroin addiction. We tried several times to get him clean, and even on New Year's Eve of 2011, he had an overdose in our living room. I had to call 911, and during that phone call, I truly thought that my husband was going to die in my arms. And though he didn't die that evening, my husband Adam passed away on July 10th of 2017 after battling opioid addiction for years.
I'm Longwood City Commissioner Matt Morgan. I myself am a 14-year recovered opioid addict. Technically, you're never really recovered. We're always in recovery. Every 4 hours, around the clock. Never missed a 4-hour window in 5 years. Keep that in mind. And I'm in Italy finally on tour, and I ran out of pills for the first time in 5 years. It's the first time I suffered from withdrawal. But my withdrawal was really bad. It got so bad that I was on this Italian hotel room, a bathroom floor, this beautiful marble floor, I'll never forget it, crying my eyes out and throwing up blood. And I was scared for my life, legit. I was terrified I was gonna die that afternoon in that hotel room. Instead of saying, okay, I'm gonna go get help, what did I do? I got up off the bathroom floor, cleaned myself up, thought I did at least, and I started one by one walking down the hotel room hallway, knocking on my fellow pro wrestlers' hotel room doors, asking them for painkillers. And one by one, as they opened the door to look at me, you could just see, you sure you're okay, Matt? You know, I now became that guy. And I was very embarrassed by it, but apparently not enough, because I continued to knock on every other door down that hotel room hallway, basically begging my coworkers, if any of you have any painkillers, please, I'm withdrawing here. So after about the 10th door, that's when finally I went back to my hotel room, called the operator, asked her to please call the United States and call my wife, connect me. And I remember like yesterday, I said, Larissa, please, I'm gonna find a way to get off this tour, but I need to get help. She started crying on the phone with me, and she thanked me. And I'll never, the amount of stress I put her under, wondering if my next tour on the road I would die or not in a hotel room. Like, think about that. And I put that on her. So I get back on the phone with her and I said, yes, I'm gonna get the help I need, but we need to treat this like prison. We need to treat this like jail. I need a highly structured setting that I cannot mess up on. Thank God we did that, because she picks me up at the airport. We didn't even collect my bags from the baggage claim. That's how serious we took this. And she took me what was then called the Center for Drug-Free Living, that is now called Aspire, and I got the help that I needed. But looking back, okay, I was fortunate to be able to afford the help that I needed back then. That's exactly what the Hope and Healing Center does. It gives people like myself and other addicts a chance to get back out into Seminole County and recontribute.
This means a lot to me because I don't want anybody to ever feel or go through what I went through.
I don't want any person to have to go through what my father went through, or go through what I went through.
What I learned was to pay it forward, was to take that and make a difference. What I wanted to do was to stop the cycle. So I brought my cousin to live with me for 2 years, who got clean after spending a decade of putting a needle in his arm. My nephew, he's been clean for 2 years. He's been out of a program called Teen Challenge. He too put a needle in his arm for 10 years.
Our story didn't need to happen. My husband didn't need to die. All we needed was the help. And now you have the chance to save someone's life. Your donation to the Advent Health's Hope and Healing Center will go towards helping those recover from drug addiction. This opioid crisis doesn't need to go on any longer, and you can help at SeminoleShowdown.com.
Your donation will go directly to the Hope and Healing Center right here in Seminole County. You have the ability to save a life, quite literally. So join us in the fight against opiate addiction today.
If I can go out and become a city mayor and a leader within my community, hell, imagine what the thousands, countless thousands of other addicts here in Seminole County can go out and accomplish once they get the help that they need. So again, I ask and I plead of you, please take part in our auctions tonight. Give till it hurts, because again, you're giving back to your own fellow brothers and sisters right here in our own backyard in Seminole County.
As you've learned, I was the difference. I made the difference for 2 people. We can make a difference for an entire community. We need your help. Donate to the Hope and Healing Center by going to www.SeminoloShowdown.com so we can save more lives. Thank you.